There, I wanted to talk about hatching today. Not hatching eggs, but hatching as in with sketching and watercolor. I have my little smudge guard filled with smudges, as you can see it. I've talked about this a little bit, but it's still fairly fresh, so I thought I'd bring it up again. It's used, and I saw someone on YouTube explain that it's used to keep your hand right here, which has normal skin oils, smudging into paintings. It started with charcoal and drawing, and today I'm doing a little bit of both, so I thought I would wear it. How about them apples? I'm going to use my paints in my first 12 colors. And I started sketching something using this wintry scene, which I just thought was real charming. I wanted to do a little bit, excuse me. I wanted to do a little bit of a whimsical feel. I couldn't tell if I was going to sneeze, cough, or what was or no, I wasn't going to yawn. But anyway, sorry for that. So I wanted to have something that almost looked like a make-believe Disney kind of a sketch. Like you could see Snow White, or you could see, little characters coming through to this little log cabin. And I thought it would lend itself, but I'm not, at least right now, I'm not planning on putting snow in it. So I used it. I added a few things. I added an extra fence in the back. I might do some things with trees. One never knows, does one? So we shall see. I have my eraser handy. I already don't like this little area. So let's get busy, shall we? So with hatching, you can either do it before, you can do it after some of the painting's been done, or you can do a little bit of both, which I probably will do. I have this pen, which I love because, and it's a Pilot. I'll put links for everything I'm using in case you're interested in them. But this Pilot fine point is great because even if your paint is slightly damp, it'll work. And then I have this one. And this is an off-brand Micron. I have it in a size 3 and 8, 03 and 08. These are waterproof. So I'm going to start with these so that I can easily paint on top of them. So I think I'm going to start with this area here. Move in a little bit so you could see what's going on. And I think it might be fun to do a little bit of hatching. And I'm not going to redo every line I did with pencil because pencil sketching is legit with watercolor as well. But I am going to start introducing you to the idea of hatching within the sketch. And I'm also going to show you on a little bit of a scratch paper just so you have the idea too. I always think hatching gives kind of a storybook look to it. You can see what you think too as you look at it. So just to review, and by the way, if you're interested in information on hatching, I'm just getting a scratch paper here. If you know how to search, please do use a keyword, in this case, hatching, and you'll see other classes right on this subject. But hatching, let's just say this was a pole. So hatching is little lines that are horizontal that go around or along, I should say, the edge of something. So in this case, it's a pole. It could be a wall. It could be the side of a tree or a house. And a lot of times it's used in illustration for adding texture and shadows. And I'll just give you a real quick version of hatching. So that would be hatching right here. If I want to put a few more little lines in, I could do that too. So there's straight parallel lines to the edge. You can also do what's called cross hatching. And cross hatching is you're doing those little parallel hatching lines, but you're doing them over the parallel lines you've already placed. And this time it's parallel to a rounded. So it goes along with a rounded feel. And that part's important, guys, because that's what's going to keep the shape of what in the world it is that you're doing the hatching on. So you can do hatching on pretty much anything that has a shape that you can include with this. Now, when I'm done with this hatching to make this pole or whatever it is, sawed off tree trunk, whatever, there's ways to enhance that with watercolor. And I'm not going to do it right now. I'm going to get back to hatching and painting this scene, but I would put paint right over it because it's waterproof. Or I would paint first and then do hatching on top of it. Okay, so that's just a quick reminder of what hatching is. And I had someone say to me, but would you ever do a scene for me? And I thought, sure, let me do a wooded scene. So I'm doing a few poles. I'll pretend this pole is crooked. We like crooked poles. And I sketched it, but I also left a lot for just playing. So there is the beginning into this house area. And I'm going to go ahead and finish the other side too. So I'm going to turn it around. And since I'm using this loosely as an idea, I'm turning this around too, just to see what things look like when they're backwards to keep my perspective going. So let's see. Looks a little snowy, so that changes the look too, but that's all right. So I'm just going to try to have a feel of where things end on this side. I'm going to move that because that's not helpful even in the slightest. So I will just make it up all by myself. Thank you very much. And then I might do a little bit coming down too. That's what I was looking for, but that's okay. We'll make it up. And I'm putting some hatching marks and wood parallel lines in different spots. I'm just using the hatching concept to enhance my sketches. I guess I'll have this go off the paper. And then, of course, it's going to continue up, but probably be a little smoother. We'll find out together. All right. So there's the concept. And then I'm just going to keep going. I'm not sure how detailed I'm going to get every single aspect of the scene, but I am going to just keep sketching and having fun with it and seeing where it leads and seeing how much I want to do with it. In my mind, this was like just another little area to come up on. We'll see what it really looks like. And this was going to be something I added for fun that was not in the original concept, but I thought it would lend itself well. And that is just a little fence along the way where my characters can go for a little walk or whatever. Be fun to add a lot of little birds and squirrels and chipmunks and all that stuff too. We'll see what we're going to do. I'm going to put a little knot and maybe have it as if it's a little rope in between all of these. Try to put some of the holes of the wood, the little fence post. I'm trying to have some of them look different from others. And if my speed of playing is not your speed in sketching and playing, then just pause, right? Pause me anytime. I won't even know. So you will not hurt my feelings, I'm telling you. Even though this is about hatching right now, it might be a good time to remind you of also the fact that you can use watercolor pencils, right? And watercolor pencils can add some texture too. A different type of texture, but a texture nonetheless. So even though I'm going to do hatching lines, I'm still going to add a little bit of whimsy here and there, make it a little bit of a gingerbread kind of house. And we'll see if that works or not. Just made up doing that, so who knows? Huh. So I'm going to go to some of the windows and just keep playing around. I hear some kind of emergency vehicle in the background. I don't know if my mic's picking it up. That's going to be the door. And this will be another window. There. Then I want these to look kind of like log areas that go over here. And I might have them go up one more. And then this side, let me look at it a minute. So this side has to be a little different because it's kind of going in a different direction. And then this side, I guess it's continuing. It's just that it's got this whole little area by it. So we'll figure that out as we go with our little make-believe world. Let's see, I will make this look like little log areas. See how far to bring that down. So I'll go below that, kind of like that. And let's see. And that is fine with me. And then I think I want this side to work like that. Okay. And then I'm thinking for the fireplace, the chimney, I was thinking that might be cute looking like it's stone. And then for the roof itself, Hmm. Almost, I'm going to leave it just kind of like a thatch roof. Just sticks and hay or whatever they would put. All right. Now that's probably the most sketching type of thing I'm doing. All right. And then as far as trees, let me follow ones that I was starting to come up with originally and just see what we have. Just making them up as I go, as you can certainly see. Nothing to write home about, just because we're doing all these lines, I am just contributing to the tree that way as well. And I'm thinking the reason I started these trees is I wanted there to be some long ones that kind of go up like that. And we'll put some stuff on those to make them work. And I guess I'm just going to keep sketching my make-believe world out and have a tree that's behind the house coming out, if not a couple of trees. And I guess so will this. Boy, I'm glad I have my smudge card. And have that go off the page. And I'm not sure how much ink I'm going to use in various other places. I do think I'm going to make this look reasonably like land. And let's see if I have, I guess this needs to be also water. Put some lines of grass. I was thinking of quickly adding some cattails, which I still might, but for now I'm okay. All right, and we might do a tree here. I feel like this fence is okay, but we need a little something, something back here too. So I'll do that, and I might do some more trees back there. Okay. All right. So we've already done some hatching here, and I think I'm going to do a bigger tree. Remember with trees, it's okay if they're not perfect or matching with the thickness, as long as it's thinner as it goes up. Okay, that's the rule of thumb with trees. Sometimes trees will even be the same, but you'll never have up here wider than at the base. Now this tree is split. And this part comes here. And therefore, this side goes like that, almost like a double tree stuck together. And let's see, what else can I do also to cause damage? Yes, I'm going to make it look like there are branches up here too because of the way that I drew it. All right, that makes sense. So hatching, I'm going to hatch, 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 hatch right here. Once again, the idea is parallel lines along the edge. That's cross-hatching. And then I'm going to start. I probably should have done it opposite. First parallel and then cross-hatching, right? So I'm doing the cross first because they're not quite straight. Maybe that's why I switched it. And for the hatching, even though they're logs, and I cared about them being logs originally, I also care about there being this shadowy look, which you get by having them thicker on certain areas. So hatching is texture, but it's also adding depth. And if you look closely, you can see already that there's a depth on this side that already makes things look interesting. And I'm going to do that with the doors as well. I like to, in general, I like to do one side heavier than the other, even though I usually do both sides. And when in doubt, I choose the left side. That's if I haven't decided and it makes no rhyme or reason, then I'm just going to choose that side. Here's hatching, and now I'm making it double. Hope you see what that's all about. Now this side is this way, so I'm doing hatching that way. Same thing here. And this one is straight horizontal, so I'm doing hatching that way. Okay. So hatching has just a cool, I'm doing this fast enough that it's going to come out lighter there. Hatching just has a cool effect of a shadowy depth. And I could have done some of the shadowy depth with my colors, of course, right? But I wanted to show you this feeling and this technique and how this can add shadows and textures. So we did it there. I think I'm going to add some cross hatching on the left side of this wood. And this one's tilted, so then that means I have to do that tilted. And since these little log poles are roundish, like this, then I need to do the cross the opposite way, the cross hatching area. Same with here. And I may not do every single one, but for now, just because I'm showing you what it's all about, I am. I'm doing every single one until I get sick of it. And then I'll go, I don't need to. We'll see. Now, as far as trees are perfect for hatching. And again, if you do these microns real nice and fast, they'll have a different look than if you're doing them slow and carefully. So for this tree, I am going to do cross hatching just periodically, just when I want to add the shadow depth of that look. Okay. And same here. Sometimes I'll do it if there's a branch coming out, I'll do it right on that area. And I'm going to do some here too. You can see it's not done perfectly by any means. And that's the beauty of it. It's just a fun little fast technique. And if you do try to do it too carefully, I'd like to point out that it almost takes away from the look in my experience. that gives you a little bit of idea for trees. Cross hatching here and there. I'm going to do a little knot hole place for an owl to live in that tree. Just felt like it should be. What do you think? This is just a fun little concept for you that you can do in conjunction to painting all day long. Line and wash is a cool technique, and cross hatching is as well. And I could just sit here for hours and continue on with this look, but I'm going to control myself just so it doesn't look like a 10-hour drawing. I'm just going to keep on going. So there is the look. And I think we should start painting, putting some grass along that little area. I don't know about you, but I like this. I like the scene. I could definitely enjoy a few days living here. I still want to be close enough that I can get to stores when needed, see my friends when needed, go to classes where I teach painting. I would be sad if I couldn't do that. But I sure wouldn't mind coming to this cool area for different times of R&R, just away from everything. That's all. I feel like I'm tilting up on most of these, so I'm going to turn it sideways and correct that. And have I mentioned with hatching, there's a lot of things you can correct. My, there is. Because you don't know if the line has stopped because of your scribbling or if it stopped because of a mistake. So just add more scribbling, right? All right, guys, let the fun begin. I'm going to start with a size 8, and I'm going to start with the water, ultramarine. I am just going to go right along the side. I'm moving to my tip. I went over a little bit. Unfortunately, grass has green in it, doesn't it? I'm doing it lighter, and I'm a little bit of a dry brushing feeling right now. I don't want the water to be as deep as an ocean. So I'm going to kind of soften it a little bit. And I like there to be some movement in it. And those white lines will be helpful with that. And then what's back on my brush will be helpful for the edge here. And there we have it. A little bit of extra dark blue in a few spots, just to keep it interesting and a nice varied look. And there we have it. Okay. Next, I'm going to go to burnt sienna, the orangey red brown. And I am going right over my log cabin. And again, I'm pushing up with my little finger if I feel like I got outside the line. Since I drew it first, I want to do it almost like a glorified coloring book. I'm going right now vertically against the grain of the logs, but I'll come back and do it with the lines in a minute. Okay. And I'm going to do yellow ochre for the thatched roof. And again, just being nice and blotchy and uneven, because if you make it too perfect, all that charm goes missing. It's away. All right, I'll come back and fix that in a little bit, or finish it in a little bit. Right now, I'm going to go to the trees. I'm going to start with Payne's Gray, and I'm going to start on their left side. You'll notice I haven't done the sky. I just all of a sudden thought of that. And I probably should have. Let me just look a minute. Nah, I'll just do a bunch of foliage and other stuff. Plus, it's a pretend world, so I can kind of get away with things that aren't quite sensible. That's what I'm sticking to, at least. I'm not doing it like black, this Payne's Gray. I'm keeping it fairly light. And I think I might do a little bit in here. Not even exactly like that, like they had it. And I'm going to go to green. Here's some sap green. And I'm going right in. But I'm not doing it real dark. I'm keeping it light. And you'll notice I didn't do it right by the lake. And the reason I didn't is I wanted the lake to dry first, at least surface dry. And then I can go in and paint the grass, not wanting it to mix and be a nice aqua look. Forgot that blue right there. Now I'm going to go do some more out here. You know, you could create your own little coloring books if you wanted to, right? Because basically that's all you're doing right now, isn't it? And let me get some blue a minute because that's bugging me right in here. Let that finish drying. Since there's a pole there, I have to make sure it's all the same color in front and behind of the pole to make sure it works. And some of that green kind of smushed out a little bit. Oops. That was a weird psychology test. I was talking about green, so I dipped my brush in green. Interesting, right? Our minds, I swear. All right. I'm going to let that continue to dry. I'm going to go to a bigger brush. I'm going to go to a size 14. And I'm going to go to yellow ochre and do some backdrop. Now I know I have black with the trees, and that is not waterproof. The Payne's Gray, I should call it. It's not waterproof. So I do have to be careful about that, or I'll smear it too much. So I'm trying to kind of semi-avoid that. I'm going to cadmium yellow. Didn't clean out my brush, so there's a little bit of both. And then I'm going to go to yellow, cadmium yellow. And what I do to one side of the tree, I have to do to the other so that it doesn't look like the tree itself is splitting the colors. And there you go. I think that will be just fine. I'm going to let that dry and have this blotchy little foresty look. All right, now I'm back to my 8. So I'm going to now go to brown. So burnt umber. And I'm just going just like this on the log. As long as it's in the direction that the logs are going in, it'll work. And I'm going to do it here. And there's supposedly, I don't even know what I drew there, but we'll pretend it's like logs, broken logs. I'll go on here. Good. I'm going to go and fill something in a minute with that. And now I'm going to go to my pretty little house. I think I'm going to use alizarin crimson on this door just because. Just because I can. I'm lifting as I'm smearing. Kind of in a mood to do this as a fast painting, but I don't want to be too sloppy for crying. And then I'm going to, I probably need a smaller brush. So here's a 4. I'm going to go to cadmium yellow and popping on some interesting colors up there. And you know what? I'm going to go to lemon yellow and go inside the windows as if the light's on, maybe. Just pretend that's what it's supposed to be. We'll leave the light on for you. So then that makes me feel that I don't want the chimney to also be yellow, since I came up with that brilliant idea. So the chimney is now orangey. I painted right over the yellow with burnt sienna. There we go. Now I'm going to go here and do burnt umber again. You know, watercolor always dries lighter. So it's okay to be a little heavy-handed at the beginning. That one's too heavy-handed, so I'm going to skip a couple. But then I will rinse, tap off. Feeling some brown from the logs that are too dark. And then going from there. And now I'm going to go back in here with yellow ochre onto the duck. And try not to loosen up every brown mark. I'm just trying to basically glaze on top of it. Little duck. Works for me. All righty. And this, like if you were telling the story of a bear family, for example, like a children's story, would this be just a perfect little sweet, I'm going to lighten this one, sweet little illustration? I feel like this duck, even though I do want it varied, it's a little too dark for my taste, the variations. So I am softening and lifting. That feels better. All right. Now I'm going to go back in to my cute little home that the bear family lives in. And let's see, I'm going to go back in with more brown. Hopefully with it. Oops. Hopefully with it. Just adding some fun layers on top of where we had our last one. I like it already. Try not to loosen up the windows and anything else I put on. Trying to just add a cute little layer of color. Also following the idea of it being dark right under here, right? It's dark underneath that little thatched area here too. And here too. I don't even know what this is supposed to be right here. I have long gone. I've long given up, I should say, figuring what I'm trying to do there. So I'll just pretend that the bear family knows what it's supposed to be and leave it at that. Now for the thatched roof, I'm going to go back in with yellow ochre with my number 4 and just tap a few spots just to get a little bit more interest. And then I'm feeling good, just like you knew that I would. All right. Always has to end up horizontal. Even if I have to go in for a second vertically, I still have to come back and finish that. Cute, right? And what else cute can I do? Next, I'm going to do some more trees. So, and more greenery and cute stuff like that. I'm into cute, guys. I'm going to take a fan brush. You don't have one, then don't you do it. Whatever. But since I do, I'm just going to put a couple little grassy things here and there. And a couple on the side of the water too, for my cute little area. And here also. The idea is for your ink to still show through, right? And I might do a few little layers of grass here and there too. Of course, the closer it is to me, that's the closer it'll be more detailed. And sometimes I just like to tap and make messy little green lines, just because. I'm going to do some here too, like it's little bushes behind the fence. As long as there's a little paint on me, may as well do a little bit of background, trees and bushes. Okay. Get a little dampness, smear it out just a little bit, especially in the front-ish areas. Playing, playing, playing. Very good. That's starting to come alive, isn't it? All right. I am going to go to a flat brush. Actually, I'm going to have to do angle because I think, yep, all my flats are being used for a class that I haven't brought them back. So this is an angle brush. We'll pretend it's a flat one for you, those of you that don't have angled. And I'm also going to use a size 4 bigger brush too. So I'm just looking how much color is in this season. Probably not a lot. It's not fall. So I think I'm going to have a variety of grassy colors in the background. Now let's keep in mind that we had already some background colors. So these are just kind of cute around it, okay? And let's see, I think I'll do some olive. So I'm going to do sap green. I'm going to do burnt sienna with it and get a nice little olivey look. And I think that will be pretty chic. Just adding, like we have all these little bushes and trees and leaves and who knows? Who knows what's out there? And adding some other colors here, just so it looks like we have different formations and looks, lighter and darker. And I like that. I hope you do too. Now I'm going to go to lemon yellow. And I still have a lot of green on my brush that I didn't rinse. So that should help have a more lime color as well. All right. This place has a lot of grass. So now I'm taking, remember when I told you this pen can be used even when things are damp? So I'm thinking adding a little bit of goodness here and there. I'm thinking of adding some stepping stones and some little flowers and greenery. And then I'm thinking of, notice how easily you can do those, by the way, even though the paint's still wet. Here are a couple little stepping stones into the house. And here are a couple of cute little flowers on top of the greenery. Just here and there. Why not? Why wouldn't I? Just a few. Just have a little color. I might add some cadmium yellow also. Just some pretty little flowers, especially around the house and front. Okay, what do you think? I'm going to pretend this is a flat brush to be in agreement with you. If you only have a flat brush, I'm still looking, but no, I don't have a flat. And I'm going to mix some brown with a little bit of black. Now, for those of you getting worried because I'm messing all my colors up, the easiest thing in the world to clean them. First of all, a lot of times it's just so nice to have some mixes already there. So that's number one. So a lot of times I want them like that. And that is a fact check. But secondly, just a tiny little bit of a damp brush on top is really all I need. And I'm not crazy about this angle brush because it's not working like a flat brush. So I'm going to go back and finish some of this with a controlled brush. So this is the 4. Quite a little small flat brush, I'd be all set, but they are all in my cases for classes. So I'm just going in with this brownish gray mix just to kind of complete a few of these trees to give them a different look. And I think I'll put a little bit here. I'm not as dark as the other one. And I think that's a good thing. I might add a little dark in a minute if I feel like it. Felt like it. Just a little bit, especially on one side. Mhm. That one works. That should be fine. Don't have a lot of paint on my brush. I'm just playing. Should be playing. Some of these, I almost want to kind of leave them just kind of blurred and washed out. And some went a little darker. Just like that. So there you go, guys. I am finishing. And I mean, I could just go on and on. You know, I could put a little swing somewhere. I could put more flowers. I feel like this blue would be so pretty with a few shadows in it. And I guess I got to do that before I leave, huh? It's not good if I don't. Back to my 8. Going in for a little olive right here. Little light olive. And a little light olive here. Just because. And I might do just a little bit of brownish right there. And a few other spots just because, right? And I might go into the water. Just a couple little spots. Texture if need be. So there you go. There's a line and wash, but more importantly, it is just a certain whimsical style. And the style is all about hatching and double hatching. So I hope that you enjoyed that since I don't know what I'm doing here as a construction. Thought I better come back and hatch to my little heart's content. I'm using the pen that I can get away with even when it's damp. So there you go, guys. Hope you had fun as I just played around. And I hope it makes sense and that you enjoy the freedom and joy of my little world, my little scene. And of course, now that I made it big and I glance up, don't do that. Then I have to keep doing shadows. That just doesn't seem fair. Don't let me look at things too closely, deal. Then I feel like I have to keep finishing. And I really wanted this to be a nice little fast one. So anyway, a couple more shadows and then hold my hand and don't let me do more. I wanted it to be quick and fun. Deal? All right. There you go. Here's my little world, my little home away from home, probably for a little magical family. And great playing with you. Got any thoughts? Let me know. I know I loved it. I just love playing. So this is a fast little style as if you are illustrating for like a little children's book or something. Cute, right? So here is the one that kind of gave me an idea. And then here's what I really did. Yeah, what can I tell you? It's okay. We just like to play. There you go. Take care, guys. Till next time.